Hello guys, Gene here with G Squared Tactical. Full disclosure right up front, we did not receive this gun for free from anyone, from Ruger or anyone else. This is the Ruger Security 380 that we'll be taking a look at today. Also, full disclosure, as I mentioned, I've never been a fan of Ruger polymer frame. I currently do not own any of them. I had an LCP-1 that was a reliable gun other than having a horrible trigger and horrible accuracy. It was fine. I carried it around in my pocket exclusively for about 2 years. Upgraded to the LCP-2, way better trigger, way better accuracy. Also carried it in my pocket, but I work outdoors, I sweat a lot. That pistol rusted so bad in my pocket, as others have not. It literally was leaving rust stains on the outside of my pocket. My wife was getting upset with me. I got rid of the gun. Never seen anything like that in my entire life. Not even my SIG P938, and I'm not a fan of any of SIG's finishes, have rusted that bad in my pocket, okay? So I just, you know what, I'm done with Ruger polymer frame pistols. I'm not buying anymore. I just haven't been a fan of them. Some of them have too much bulk. The polymer seemed cheap to me. When you rack the slide and stuff, it just had a cheap sound to it. I don't know how else to describe it. It ain't never been necessarily a budget-friendly pistol, not in my opinion, when you have options like DB9 from Diamondback. You have some Canic options and things like that that are truly budget-friendly, Stover and things of that nature, that seem to function flawlessly and seem, in my opinion, to be better than the Ruger. With that being said, I'm not out here trashing Ruger. I like their revolvers. I like some of their rifles. I think they make some of the best revolvers in the world. I love their Mark Series 22. They have great customer service. I just am not a fan. So I'm just letting you know that up front, so that, because I'm really trying to have an open mind about this pistol. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and get it out of the box here. I have taken it out of the box, but I have not got a chance to shoot it yet. Trey and I hope to do that real soon, like in the next 3 or 4 days. But I literally just picked it up yesterday because they're going fast and you can't find them anywhere. This is part of their light rack series or lineup of pistols. You have your instruction manual. You have some type of coupon, it looks like, from the Shop Ruger store. You have your NRA stuff. You have some kind of Bearcat recall information in there, and you have your nice little Ruger sticker. It's pretty sexy stickers. I like those. I've got them on about every vehicle I have. Anyway, you got a lock. You got yourself a speed loader. You have a flush mount for, I guess you could put it on the smaller magazine, the 10 round mag here. If you did not want your pinky extension, you could put the flush mount on there. Got your little rubber band there, if I didn't mention that already. And then of course you got your pistol with your 15 round mag in there. And so let's just get right to it. Initial thoughts. Let's do some pros and cons after we go through some of the pertinent information, if you will. So the overall width on this is 1.02. The length, overall length, is 6.52. The barrel length is 3.42. The height is 4.35. Weighs in unloaded at 19.7 ounces. So it is pretty light. As I mentioned, 2 mags, one 10 round, one 15 round, and it is an internal hammer fired double action only pistol. Like I mentioned, this is the light rack slide with the rear cocking ears, they call them. They're not quite as pronounced as, say, on an H&K where they're really winged off the sides, but they are there. And I will admit that it is super easy to rack the slide on this gun. Now sometimes my experience has been that means they just lightened up the recoil spring, and that could be problematic at the range. I don't know that, haven't seen anything to that end, just saying that that's been my experience with some other pistols in the past. It does have a thumb safety that is not the easiest thing in the world to manipulate. Like the thumb safety on a 1911, you can easily just flip it up and down with your thumb. You really have to get under this one and push up with your thumb. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to manipulate. You can push it down with your thumb, but you really have to be deliberate pushing it up, which I guess is okay, because if you rack one in the slide here and you drop it down, you push it up, you can pull it out and easily pop it down with your thumb. So, no grief there. I'm not complaining about that. And yeah, so you have front serrations, you have these little tiny serrations at the, you have rear serrations, and you have these little tiny serrations at the front, but that's not really that big of a deal, because you do have this indent in the front of the slide here, where it has these lightning cuts, these 3 on each side, a very easy to pick up fiber optic green front sight on here, blacked out, U-notch, serrated at the back. Looks like you can drift it for windage, also windage on the front as well. It's not adjustable for elevation, and that front sight really picks up nice. I really do like that front green sight, the way that the sun radiates out of it. Very, very nice. As I mentioned, it is very, very easy to rack the slide, probably the easiest I've ever seen in my life. You still have to have a tool, unless you've got some very strong fingernails, to take this thing down, pulling out this pin. Don't know why they haven't changed that over the LCP2. Wish they would have changed that. If I had a con, that would be one of them. There is nothing ambi on this gun. It is kind of thick through the grip here. Typically in 380s you get very small firearms, pocket sized. They say this is just short of pocket size, even with the flush round or flush mount floor plate for your mag here. Man, I tell you what, if you've got some Paul Bunyan pockets, I don't know, maybe if you got some overalls with a tack pocket in the front, maybe, but there is nothing pocket sized in my opinion about that. It does have 3-slot pick rail here on the front. It does have some, okay texturing on the grip here, branded on each side with the Ruger Dragon here and the Ruger name. Again, it does feel okay. Like I said, it is a little thick. Baby's definitely got some back. And the mag release is fairly easy to manipulate. Mags seem to fall loose and without adjusting your grip. So, I'm okay with that. Trigger, I'm not a trigger snob. If you're looking for an awesome trigger, you've come to the wrong place, because you're not going to find an awesome trigger here. Now, the reset, you can hear the reset, but you can't feel the reset. Not really. It's not very tactile. It's not very short. Let's see, let's rack it up here. It's got a good amount of take up, but I don't feel any grit in the trigger. And it kind of sort of breaks when you think it should. But again, I'm not really a trigger snob. It's definitely something that I could get used to at the range. I wouldn't complain about it. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Now, it does have serrations on the front of the trigger guard if you hold it out here like this. And as I mentioned, it does have the light rail. Now, when I first saw this, I thought that it was going to be a lot smaller than it actually was. And when I saw it and saw how big and bulky it was for a 380, I was like, what in the world have they done? The only reason that I picked this up is because I got it out the door cash price for $295. Now that you can't beat, with the lightning cuts, the fiber optic sight, the thumb safety, the 2 magazines, the extra floor plate, speed loader, everything that you get with it. That's a great, great price. But I still just didn't get it. But once I started doing some research, I found out that Ruger designed and made this for those that are elder, may have some issues with some arthritic hands or something, maybe ladies. I've met some ladies, no offense, I've met some ladies before that could rack a slide better than a dude could. So, but I know that they done that for, like I said, arthritic, elder, that wanted the recoil of a 380, wanted to carry a 380. That's what they were used to shooting, had a very light rack slide as per the name, and it is very light, and it is very easy to manipulate. Once I realized that that's why they made this, have some bulk to it, something that somebody can get their hands on, making it very accurate. I would think, I don't know, I haven't shot this gun yet, but it feels like a big 9mm, but it's in 380, and it was designed for those cases, as I mentioned, for elder and so forth, where they could easily manipulate this slide, easily pick up this sight system with older eyes, and also less recoil from the overall size of this thing for a 380 round. So once I realized it was designed for that reason, I think if it does well at the range, you know what, it probably hit a home run in that category of people. So we hope to get this out to the range really soon. I know that that wasn't the most informative video you guys have probably ever watched, but and if you have any questions, any concerns, anything, if you just want to ask us questions, tell us something we may have left out, maybe what your experience is, we love to hear from you. We respond to everyone, and if the video on the range is not up yet, it will be soon, and we are excited to get back with you about that and how it performed out at the range. Anyway, make sure you hit that thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, make sure you go over and follow us on Rumble and tell your friends. Ruger Security 380. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a blessed day.